Okay. A wreck. I like that word. All right, here we go. La la la. Yes, yes, yes. Where are we? Who am I? Come on, Harry. Governor McKee, week 3 now with the problem with the armory. More developments. More developments. Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. And I'm going to share them with you with glee. Good afternoon, one and all. This is everybody on FB. This is the Noon Report. I see Roberta Farrell. What's that thing? I see. Hi there, Joshua David. Um, I see Roberta Farrell. I see ants. I see Governor McKee in his underpants. There's Kerry Bacon. Hola. All right, folks, we're live on the radio. Un momento. Also, the latest. Hola, there's Pam. And there's Christopher with the latest now on the Maya trial as well that has started. So we're going to have a lot to get to, but I want to start off with the breaking news on Governor McGreed. I'm telling you, the guy can't get out of his own way. First, he is just, for lack of a better word, the guy is a first-class stooge. Talk about a dumbbell. He's Chafee-like. Has anyone seen McKee and Chafee in the same room? I highly doubt it. Again, it all comes back to birds of a feather. Who is the governor's? Well, folks, good afternoon at 12:06. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. First day of summer. Doesn't feel like it outside, but behind me, the den of thieves, folks. Things are truly heating up. Good afternoon to everybody tuning in. Part of our live simulcast on FB, on Facebook. You can watch the Noon Report. A lot of people then watch it a little bit later into the afternoon. That's fine, folks. That's why it's on demand, right? That's why we have it. That's why you can watch it at your leisure. And then, of course, first and foremost, we have our radio crowd where you can listen AM 1380, 99.9 FM, and always online at the website. DePietro.com continues to do record volume. I am not surprised. The staff at DePietro.com, folks, they do a great job. Plus, we have the shop. Plus, we have unique stories. It's a happening without question. It's DePietro.com. This portion of our program brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. Summer has arrived. And folks, they have vegetables and herbs, annuals, perennials, hangers, 10-inch, 12-inch moss baskets, 12-inch patio pots. Shop local, great quality, great service. You can look for them on Facebook right off of Route 4. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. Steve and Debbie and Junior and Byron, huge supporters of the program. Pop it and see them. If you can plant it in the ground, you can purchase it at PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. And the same thing with delicious vegetables and herbs and annuals, perennials. It's the only place I would go. Now, folks, check out DePietro.com. We have unique, stories up. I'm going to have a lot more now that the Maya Brophy-Behrman trial, so to speak, has started today. One of the goons, one of the low-life gang member thugs who, without any purpose or reason other than in a drug haze, mistook the person with her for a potential gang member of East Side. If you want to read about that, I'm going to reshare some of the stories. I'm trying to. We've gone more in depth on that than any other news outlet. Period. End of story. Not even close. There's even other elements of it that I haven't even revealed. That Juan was subpoenaed by the guy that's on trial today. Did we communicate with them? No, absolutely not. Think I'm going to in any way help those dirtbags? No. But what did they want? They wanted information that the chosen one has. Folks, that's what I do. I, first and foremost, traffic in information, the power of information. As Gordon Gekko said in the famed movie Wall Street with Bud Fox, learning the value of information. That's really what Juan does is I traffic in information, obtaining it, and then people that want it. So, folks, and then passing it along to you as well, which why we're so far ahead of the curve. Folks, check out DePietro.com. Brought by the Coesit Inn. 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. I have a feeling I'm going to end up there this weekend. The Coesit Inn, lunch, dinner, drinks, and lounge. You can also order with them. All right, now before the Maya Brophy Behrman trial started this morning, and I don't like this at all. The judge, now I'm going to cover it as much as we can. The judge now is not allowing any type of cameras into the courtroom. I fundamentally disagree with it. I don't. It's Judge Krause. I don't like it. We should have more visibility. First person on the stand this morning was Sharon Robinson, Maya's boyfriend at the time. First witness. Now he was the one walking her to her car. It was the early morning hours. I'm going to talk about the McKee thing in just a moment. Early morning hours of August 1st on Olney Street, right up on North Main Street on Providence's east side. They had been out. There was an after-hours party, and Sharon Robinson who's a person of color, is walking her to her vehicle. She's going to get in her car and drive home. So I also see Sergeant Sean Kennedy, Providence Police, was working the night of the shooting, responded to the scene. He describes the scene as very chaotic. The victim was on the ground at the bottom of the stairwell inside the building. Oh, she was basically dying. Her lips were blue. She was gasping for air. Kennedy said he was wearing a body camera at the time of the incident. The court is now showing the video. The judge says a portion of it blurred out. It's unnecessary for the jury to see. Wow. Okay, now we are going to be in court later today. This is so brutal. And the dirtbag that's on the stand for it. Wow. Whew. All right. Now, again, they're not, I don't, I fundamentally, I just completely disagree with this decision to not allow cameras. Now, and I want to be really clear, because every time we're at a scene and it's newsworthy, and there's nothing wrong with people being interested in a story, and there's nothing wrong with you being interested in the story. There are these maggots that come out of the woodwork that just start saying, "Oh, there's the media." It happened in Coventry, as that woman, please, the whole thing, back up, that neighbor, and there were people saying, "Oh, there's the media, the goons. They just want to see." No, they just want to show a dead body. But that is so erroneous. The body, the wife had been removed by the medical examiner. The husband had been rushed to the hospital. There were no bodies. It's not a matter of that. Folks, what would it say in society if, let's just say, in your own, wherever you live right now, and you're listening to the radio or watching on Facebook, what would it say if 5 blocks, whatever, close by you, there was a double murder and there was no coverage of it? How is that productive? How does that serve any purpose? I can't stand these people the fact of the matter is they have no idea what they're talking about. So now this particular trial, though, I think it would benefit the public. This was an innocent 24-year-old girl who was shot and killed in an accidental drive-by gang shooting. She was not in a gang. Her boyfriend was not in a gang. That's the first time I've seen him identified as boyfriend. I thought he was just a friend of hers. Now, that's the reporter saying that, but it's very possible. It doesn't sound like he was on the stand that long. But I am at a loss of, and I just want to stay with this for a moment, these people that they feel they should be the gatekeepers. No, no one should see this. No, the media, the same thing like the subway thing. That was last Wednesday in Smithfield. These people that no one needs to, like, what is this conspiracy cover up? I want to be really, really clear. If there are people that don't go see horror films because they don't like horror films, and that's fine. There are people that don't watch, I don't watch a lot of hockey. I don't have tremendous interest in hockey. I could suffer through playoffs of Stanley Cup, but But I am at a loss of these people that feel that no one should, like, like, they're the all knowing, right? Like, no one should be looking at that. No one should be seeing that. Media shouldn't even be there. I want to come back to what type of society are we living in that someone crashes a car into the side of a building, killing the manager, and what? We just go along pretending it never happened. That's asinine to say something like that. All right. So I will oh, okay, here we go. BC this is Joanna Boros, BCI detective at the time, Paul Romano is now on the stand. Says they handle any crime scene that come in. He retired in June. All right. So we'll have more this afternoon. I am going to follow that trial. I don't know. I'm curious how long it's going to take. We have posted a lot about it, and I'm going to get into it. And there's one other element that I want to just touch on, folks, and it's about the homeless comments. Two things that annoy me. You know, the media ghouls, they just want to be there. You can't have 1,000 people at a crime scene. So in our society, we have the press that is there, and the press operates on behalf of the public. That's really what, let's remove chosen one. Let's remove me from the scene for a moment. But just break this down. That's what when Channel 10 is asking Governor McGreed a question, you can't have 500,000 people at the Rhode Island State House asking the governor a question. So we have people that, do that. There are people that seemingly don't understand the nature of that. So I realize it's, you know, foolish to even try to reason, but I'm just amazed they're not shy about sharing their opinion, as if nothing should be covered. We also saw this after September 11th. These people, no one should be showing that. Nope, no one should show. Nope, nope, stop. That's enough. No one needs to see the planes going into the building. Well, that fundamentally changed. Like, I don't understand the gatekeeper. Like, they know all. I hate people like that. It's actually like the woman in Coventry. Everybody, back up. You can see from back. Like, suddenly they're in charge. Nope, no one should see what happened. Nope, nothing to see here. Move right along. Like, who are you? They're just impossible, is what they are. All right, I want to tell you about this homeless thing, and I am going to get to Governor McGreed because that is the big thing. The Maya story, I will provide more updates as the afternoon goes along. It's just so horrific. That is, well, there's different things that break into it. There's different things that break into it. But I want to, I just have this problem when people throw God around. And I've talked about it. And I don't know if it resonates with enough people, but I'm going to keep trying. Folks, this portion of the John DePietro Show, it's brought by Propane Plus. Hey, for all your propane needs, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, call Propane Plus today, 401-885-4209. In Massachusetts, 508-252-3359, Propane Plus. The Johnson family, 3 generations, they're just terrific. And they're responsive. They're on the cutting edge. Folks, propane is energy for everyone. Go to their website, very user-friendly website, Propane Plus. Residential, commercial, it's propane. Propaneplus.com. You type in your zip code, whether it's for your business or residential, commercial, Propane Plus. Again, in Rhode Island, you can call them 401-885-4209, or in Massachusetts, 508-252-3359 for Propane Plus. Now, I want to clarify something that we have been posting photos and some video of how you have adults now that just decide I'm going to lay down in this doorway, or we're going to set up the slobs at the Washington Bridge. I recognize some of this, they're heavy drug users. How do I know that? Well, you can see the needles, as disgusting as it is. But it's not everybody. But it's not everybody. But what is also, I also posted the video. It's a scam. There's this woman, she panhandles and she's got a baby stroller. There is a child in the stroller, by the way. When I said she's using it as a prop, some people misunderstand it and they think, oh, so there's nobody in there. No, I didn't say the stroller's a prop. I'm saying the whole visual is a prop. But people get upset when we post photos of, for instance, the latest one we did was there's the Avon Cinema on Thayer Street, and there's at least one, two people, could be three, just lying in the doorway of the Avon, and these people get upset about it. That we're posting it, and I want to be really clear. Why it's public property. It's the view. Like, we're not going in someone's backyard. It's right there by the street. Why are we hiding that? Don't show that. I get that crowd. Don't even show that. Or what do they call it? Homeless shaming. They don't belong there. They don't belong there. I don't know how else to explain that. And by the way, that's not Jesus. That's not Jesus, right? The person, another media person. When I go by Midland Mall and I see someone panhandling, I think that could be Jesus, so I give them money. Jesus is not panhandling by Midland Mall. I hate to break that to you. But listen to this comment. Rennell Williams, leave them alone. So we posted the photo in front of the Avon. Leave them alone. If you're not going to help them, people better humble themselves, because God can put you right where they are. You know, that is quite a statement. So, and people are responding. God doesn't punish people. I replied, let me see how she did. So, you think God put them there? God could put you there. Well, if you believe that, which, by the way, I don't believe that. We're not puppets on a string. Okay? We're not puppets on a string. God is not putting anyone anywhere. God did not put them there. They put themselves there. They did. Free will. Let me see. So I put, so you think God put them there? Because you're threatening that they could put us there. All right, that's it. JR and Juan, you're next in front of the Avon. No, we didn't. Oh, here we go. But who are we to judge anyone? Well, you did say. I didn't say God put. Yes, you did. You said, if you are saying that God could put us there, then why would you not say that he put them there? So who's to say, well, I'm just going to respond in real time. If God, folks, it'll take just a second. If God could put me there, does that mean he put them there? Now, I know the answer to that. So God's choosing who's homeless and who's not. Is that what we're supposed to believe? Does that mean he put them there? So God said, all right, people on the right, you're going to be, see this crowd of 50? You're going to be homeless at Motel 6. You 10, you're going in doorways. Okay, hold on. I mixed it up. You 10 are winning lottery tickets. I'm sorry. Late night last night in heaven. You 10, you're the ones going in front of the door. Like, it doesn't work that way. It is frightening to me that people believe this. Now, they don't belong there. Under no circumstances is that acceptable. This element, God could put you there. No, 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 no. It's through a series of bad choices. And let me just say this, folks. Again, pardon me. Why do I allow an idiot like that, of that mindset? I know. Why is it disrespectful? Taking pictures of the street and posting it is disrespectful. How is it judging? Why am I arguing with an idiot? I don't know. So posting a picture is judging? There is no caption, just a photo. How is that judging? here's the thing. There are people that believe that. There are people that, as I've talked about, and no, it's not a religious program, they try to pawn off everything. And there's part of that, I get that. Where through a series of poor decisions, people then just say, it's in God's hands at this point. If you had followed the commandments and the New Testament leading up to that, maybe we wouldn't have gotten to the point where at this point it's in God's hands. There are people that do that. There were people that show up at a concert outside. There were some people outside Taylor Swift, signs praying for a miracle. Oh, now it's up to God to get you the tickets. I know, folks. I know. But it's just when you see it like that, God could put you in that doorway. No, God did not put those people in the doorway. It's inappropriate. They shouldn't be there. Stop with this could be anyone. As I've said, we need proper safety nets for people that stumble. And I've talked about that, and I support that 100%. However, the problem is you have people that are gaming the system that don't fall into that equation. If someone develops a drinking problem or a drug problem, and by the way, bad things happen. There's the book, Bad Things Happen to Good People. It is true. There are people that the various things can happen in their life and it gets them off course. And we need safety nets, and we're a better society for having safety nets to assist those people. And the Catholic Church, who gets no credit, the church has been doing it since the beginning of time. However, we get the people that take advantage of the system, who game the system. And then these individuals, that put out these false notions. Everyone in the United States should be given a home. Okay, yeah, that's called communism. We don't operate that way. You're in the wrong country. You're in the wrong country. That's Cuba. You want to keep going south. Drive to Florida, and when you get there, keep going. Not ideally in a car. No, you're in the wrong country. See, the beauty of this country is when you earn money, you get to keep it. That's why people come here. Some countries have taxes of 70%. In Venezuela, they started taking all the money that people were earning for the greater good. They're doing that here in Rhode Island. I'm going to talk about McGreed in a moment. I know what's best. This latest thing with Governor McKee, it's so damaging. And I'm glad the Republican Party is finally stepping up. And I'm going to tell you about it right now. But folks, I want to remind you this portion of the program is brought to you by J. Perry Paving. Hey, get your driveway paved. Come on, nothing better to improve your home than a nicely paved parking lot or driveway. J. Perry Paving, high quality, fair pricing, exceptional service, free estimate for any project. Call J. Perry Paving, 401 732 1730. 401 732 1730, serving Rhode Island and Massachusetts. It's J. Perry Paving. Call them for a free quote. They're the real deal, licensed and insured contracting company, affordable, smooth, safe to drive on. Maybe it's a brand new paving project. Hey, maybe it's just a patch driveway. J. Perry Paving, 401 732 1730. So I want to credit the Providence Journal has furthered the story with Governor McKee. And it's an interesting angle that they've brought out. They're going after the very beginning of how this whole thing started. Now, the Rhode Island Republican Party has published something today, or I should say, released a statement. And I did post it on the Facebook page. Scouting for money. According to recent news report, Providence Journal, lobbyist Jeff Britt, now this guy's the king of sleaze, a political operative who had been indicted for violating campaign finance law. We covered that trial. It was with the Mattiello campaign and the whole Shauna Lawton mailer. Paid $228 for a free lunch for Governor Dan McKee as part of his effort to lobby for $55 million for Scouts' Cranston Street Armory project. Under the Rhode Island Ethics Commission regulation, public officials cannot accept a single gift of more than $25 in value from an interested person. Also, all lobbyists must report all expenditures for the purpose of lobbying. Now, listen to this part, folks, and the timeline is very important. Um, During this time period, listen to this one. Britt donated $2,000 in contribution to Governor McKee, including $1,000 the day before the lunch. Britt never reported what he spent on the free lunch or his campaign donations. Now think about this for a moment. I'm going to break it out for you. Here's how bad things are in Rhode Island right now. Do you want to have lunch with the governor? It's $1,000. Do you want to have lunch with him? It's $1,000, and you're picking up the lunch. It's a menu. It's pay to play. Oh, do you want to have dinner? That's $2,000, and you're picking up the dinner. But you want to have lunch with him? 1,000. He pays the 1,000 the day before the lunch at the Capitol Grill. Never reports it. McKee never reports it. Joe Powers. The Scout scandal just got worse for Rhode Island's reputation. After the gift-grabbing escapade by high-ranking Rhode Island public officials, now we learn in Philadelphia, Governor McKee accepted a free lunch from a lobbyist, and that lobbyist who was previously indicted for violating campaign finance law is now violating Rhode Island lobbying disclosure laws. It's an embarrassment that an out-of-state business thinks this is how you need to do business in Rhode Island. First, Scout had to hire a lobbyist with Britt's track record. The guy was indicted, went on trial with the Mattiello campaign. Then Britt made a $1,000 donation to the governor right before the lunch. And then he paid for the lunch. What an absolute disgrace. Does McKee decide whether to fund a project based on the amount of donations or free lunches he gets? If a proposed project is too expensive, McKee should just reject it. No wonder businesses stay away from Rhode Island. Again, this is Joe Powers, Rhode Island Republican Party. The Ethics Commission staff should amend its complaint against David Patton and James Thorson to include Governor Dan McKee. He accepted the free lunch, which exceeded $25 from Scout's lobbyist, Britt. Also, Secretary of State Gregor Maury should initiate an investigation into his lobbying practices. Britt has spent money to lobby Governor McKee and did not report it or his campaign donations. The only way to clean up Rhode Island's political culture, hold everyone in the Scout scandal accountable. Let's be really clear what happened here. This was a shakedown. And I want you to understand, folks, and let's just break it out. If this were, and I'll be the first one to say it, if this were in fact Buddy Cianci, how do you think people would be reacting to it? Where they go for, oh, you want to have lunch? It's $1,000 if you want to have lunch with them. It's $1,000 if you want to have lunch with them. You got to make a donation. And then when they get there, they're then, who does McKee bring to the luncheon? He brings Jerry Shahazian, who's head of his fundraising. Why would you bring, let's just think about this for a moment at 12:33. Why would you bring your chief fundraiser to a luncheon with people that are looking for the state to get, somewhere upwards around $50 million? Why would you do that? Let's just say, I'm trying to think of different scenarios. I'm not ruling out of why you would bring someone along to a luncheon like that. So maybe you would bring an architect. Let's just say it was going to be. See, this is the problem with McKee. He thinks nothing. He brings his fundraiser along. What they were waiting to hear, I'll just cut to the chase. What they were waiting to hear was that these people were going to throw McKee and do like a $50,000 fundraiser or upwards. Or maybe they were going to commit to a series of high-level fundraisers. That's what they wanted. Why else would you bring the guy along? When they didn't get that, when they got 500 each, well, then that's when suddenly the deal wasn't happening. McKee says, well, I didn't include it in the budget. Then why are you going to lunch with them? Britt gives the governor $1,000 and suddenly they're having lunch. And then neither one reported. What an absolute disgrace this is. A complete disgrace. Folks, this guy, and I've been consistent. Governor McKee is setting the state back, tremendously setting the state back. And what I really also like about this is the fact that it's not just um, it's not just Channel 12. The Providence Journal has now forwarded the story. They've furthered the story. It's taken on more. So let me just see. This is interesting. It's being reported that Speaker Joe Sacacci may be having a change of heart entering the CD1 race. I think that's interesting. He played it coy on Tuesday, bringing up the special election filing deadline unprompted. Hey, it's a free shot. It's a free shot if he wants to run. But as far as Governor McKee, folks, now think of it like that Providence Journal story is I just it just shows it makes it's even worse for the state and it's worse for the McKee administration. And I recognize some people aren't going to recognize it, but these are individuals that are dealing with the state um, and trying to secure this bid. And then look what happens. Now, I'm willing to bet they were guided and pushed towards Britt, who's a very hey, his record speaks for itself. As if I'm going to remove myself from it. As the Rhode Island Republican Party has pointed out, said you're talking about an indicted. He was indicted, went on trial. Um, you go back on that guy's record, and I've posted it on DePietro.com. He's been arrested for various different things. He's a, to put it mildly, a sleazy individual. But suddenly he's in the mix on this thing. But here's the why. Why is he in the mix on this type of stuff? Look at who he's then dealing with Shahazian. Governor McKee, these are the type of individuals that this administration attracts. I'm trying to be almost diplomatic here. They're unseemly. Jerry Shahazian, Brit. I'm not shocked at this in any way. These are exactly the type of individuals that you would think, like, this is who they interact with. They're comfortable around us. You know what else? I think it also puts in perspective. And again, folks, good afternoon at 12:37. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. You can always listen online at the website, depetro.com. I think it puts into perspective the whole embarrassing fiasco of the two officials going down to Philadelphia. I think it does. I think it kind of puts it in perspective. It does for me. If you see the way that Governor McKee acts and who he surrounds himself with, these two high-level Rhode Island state officials going down on this national story is what it's become of the Philadelphia trip. It all makes sense the more you read about this. And folks, if you want to read between the lines of like this James Thorson saying to them, this is not just about Providence. You're not listening to me. This needs to, quote, benefit other people, unquote. Gee, I wonder what that means. It needs to benefit other people. How about the fact the state then, this is also a classic. The state stopped paying these people. This company in Philadelphia was getting 25,000 a month, and then suddenly the money stopped. What do you think that's about? It's because they weren't seeing Mr. Green. So they felt, "Oh, okay, we need to make a campaign contribution." How much did they campaign contribute? It was either 500 each or 1,000 each. It's like, "Hey, you're missing some zeros on that contribution there." The state suddenly just stops paying them. "No, we're not going to pay you anymore. If you want to get paid, then you got to pay. This is a pay to play. The 25,000 a month you've been getting, yeah, guess what? The spigot is shut off until we see Mr. Green. You're not going to get any money." So they each contributed $500 each to the McKee campaign account. Okay, that's 500 each. And then you got Britt kicking in 2,000. The McKee people are like, "Okay, congratulations, we're up to 3,000. Like, do you want the 50 million or not? Keep going." Folks, this needs to be a broader investigation, and they need to get people under oath. I think it will lead to that. And you need to get the Scout people under oath. You need to get Britt under oath. You need to get McKee under oath. I would not be surprised if over the next couple of days, Attorney General Peter Nerona starts going after this. They tried to get Britt and came up short. I think they're going to want another bite at the apple. Folks, this portion of the John DePietro Show is brought to you by AtMed Urgent Care. 2 locations, walk-in urgent care center, all medical needs, 5024 Atwood Avenue in Johnston, and also 5750 Post Road, East Greenwich. AtMed Urgent Care. They have doctors and nurses. They're open 7 days a week. It's AtMed Urgent Care. When you need urgent care. Now, again, it's a free country. If you want to wait at a hospital emergency room, that's entirely up to you. AtMed Urgent Care. 2 locations, 1524 Atwood Avenue in Johnston and 5750 Post Road, East Greenwich. It's AtMed Urgent Care. Folks, this portion of the John DePietro Show, it's brought to you by Ryan's Appliance Repair. Call Ryan when your appliance is dying. Just call Ryan, 401 710 7096. 401 710 7096. Ryan's Appliance Repair. Whether it's a washer, dryer, refrigerator, stove, oven, Ryan's Appliance Repair. 401 710 7096. Now, as far as the people in the submarine, I'm not sure what part of this. I don't wish them ill will, but you have a group of individuals that you have a group of individuals that are basically thrill seekers. They can say that they're doing research and so forth, but they're ill equipped. There was a piece about them that CBS Morning News did where these guys weren't the most. They kind of fancied themselves as they do makeshift type stuff and all this other stuff. I don't. Titanic 2 live updates. 1% chance survival. Previous safety worries. I just. What am I missing of this? I saw someone post they can't sleep or eat, or all they're thinking about is these people in this. They went there. These are wealthy individuals that went joyriding in apparently something that was not fully equipped. I mean, of course, you have to try to rescue them, but like what? Like, I don't. They didn't seem too cautious with making sure that everything, all safety was followed. As you step back, the more you learn about it. It certainly seems to be. It was a very, very risky, and I don't know if everyone involved fully knew just how risky it was, but it it just seems like it was a very high risk move here. Now, I also just want to let me just check some stories. I'm seeing headlines right now. Okay, Trump Barr feud reaches fever pitch. Again, I know he hates him, but the guy was the Attorney General of the United States. He's somewhat knowledgeable in the law. All right. Fox News' Greg Gutfeld rides anti-woke humor to rating stardom. Bigger play network after Tucker Carlson's exit. That is all true. Network set to shuffle schedule. Now, they had reported on that, and then it went quiet a little bit. But it was the Drudge Report that reported that Hannity was going to move to 8 o'clock and Gutfeld was going to move to 10 o'clock. Now, nothing has happened, but it's a huge piece in the Wall Street Journal about Greg Gutfeld, who, hey, he has done fantastic. He has. But I want to just, okay, I thought they were mentioning they're going to move it. Fox has long been number one, but its primetime pictures now uncertain. Rotating hosts of the 8 o'clock hour have included Brian Kilmeade, Lawrence Jones. Didn't say why it chose to part ways with Carlson. Blah, blah, blah. That's interesting. Tom O'Connor, executive producer, think Gutfeld would do well at 8 o'clock. Huh. I think could be successful in any of the time slots. Now that would be interesting. And I wondered, Hannity was very friendly with Matt Drudge. I wondered if he floated the whole Hannity to 8 o'clock thing. So anyhow, folks, all right, let me stay on track here. This portion of the John DePietro Show, and it's brought to you by Limitless Outdoors. Remember, their slogan is Dream, Build, Enjoy. Limitless Outdoors. Call them today for a free quote, 401 580 1852. Limitless Outdoors. Get a free quote, 401 580 1852 for Limitless Outdoors. Now, it first starts with a discussion how you want to use that outdoor space. They can design an outdoor space to fit your aesthetic and lifestyle. They specialize in patios, walkways, steps, outdoor kitchens, landscape lighting, retaining walls, lawn installation, excavation, and more. Limitless Outdoors. Their slogan is Dream, Build, Enjoy. Call them 401 580 1852. 401 580 1852. Limitless Outdoors. Well, folks, good afternoon. At 1246, you're listening to the John DePietro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. I want to reiterate, I think that this Providence Journal story, and I want to commend the Rhode Island Republican Party, they are right in the money. This story involving the actions in Philadelphia, this is now at least week 3, and the governor wanted to hide that email, and it's actually the situation is getting worse, and it's embarrassing. And it starts off with the governor and a very questionable ethics challenged lobbyist. I come back to what, and this is a question. I noticed Governor McKee, no public events. So he's hiding out, or he was. Why? I think this is a fair question. Why is he bringing his fundraiser with him to a luncheon with people that they're there to talk business? I'm not saying he shouldn't have, listen, he and Jerry Shahasian can have lunch whenever they want. But why are these individuals, these people that are supposed to be developing the Cranston Street Armory? I think it was news to them of, oh, okay, they're bringing their fundraiser along. Like, what is that all about? Oh, wow. All right, we're getting breaking news here. Tim White, Dan Doyle has died. Dan Doyle, the convicted founder, the Institute for International Sport, 7 years embezzling $1 million. Wow. Now, this was the guy who Patrick Lynch went to work for when he left the Attorney General's office. He was 74. His death was confirmed. Oh, my God. He died at the ACI? How gruesome. His death was confirmed. Oh, Doyle was released May 31st of last year. All right, I'm seeing that. After serving 7 years at the ACI, 18 counts of embezzlement, forgery, obtaining money under false pretenses. So he was released at the end of May last year, and then he just apparently passed away. Investigators said Doyle used more than 1 million personal expenses, groceries, clothing. Let's see if Patrick Lynch is mentioned in here, or Bill Lynch, who was acting as his attorney in a meeting with Bob Wiegand. Doyle lost repeated attempts to overturn the conviction. Time of death, he was living in Connecticut with his wife. No other details about his passing were provided. He died on Sunday. State police launched an investigation. 2012, growing question about an unfinished building on the URI campus. It was supposed to house the institute. He was indicted the following year. Secured a $575,000 state grant to build the facility. Remained unfinished 2 years after construction began. You know, if he'd actually finished that thing, kind of might have covered the tracks a little bit. During the trial, prosecutors told the jury Doyle used institute funds to pay off an American Express card, purchase clothing, groceries, Starbucks. He also bought land. I do not see former Attorney General Patrick Lynch's name in here. When Lynch was Attorney General, Dan Doyle used him as leverage. He used Lynch as a buffer. He embezzled an additional salary, used institute funds to pay bills at his for-profit summer camps in Connecticut. He embezzled money to pay for his daughter's private college tuition. He was also convicted forging annual nonprofit reports that were filed with the state of Rhode Island. Along with the prison sentence, he was ordered to repay the Hassenfeld Foundation $550,000 on probation. The thing about Dan Doyle, if he had come clean in the very beginning, he actually could have escaped a big punishment there. At least that's what we were led to believe. So, and then there was other speculation. If he'd actually gone to jail, he might have been able to get out on COVID. I don't know exactly what the hell happened, but so that is, I mean, that's a tough one. That is a tough incident with Dan Doyle. Rest in peace. But at one point, let's see, during his time, like 2002 to 2010, when Patrick Lynch left the Attorney General's office in 2010, he left and took a job with Dan Doyle, and then his brother Bill Lynch said that, well, Patrick left because he wasn't getting paid. But what no one's ever really fully dug into, Tim White did a story. I can't believe Patrick Lynch's name isn't even mentioned there, but when Lynch was Attorney General, Doyle used he used him essentially, because anyone that was wondering if this organization was on the up and up, well, he's got the Attorney General, part of the board, part of the whole operation. I mean, that would give someone pause, like, well, they must be legit, right? There's the chief law enforcement officer of the state right there. Lynch never should have allowed Doyle to use the office in that way. Never should have allowed him. It was a total abuse of power. Folks, this portion of the John DePietro Show is brought to you by Unique Health. Rapid, aggressive weight loss that can last a lifetime. Instead of wasting thousands of dollars and hours in the gym, fad diets, learn the foods to target stubborn fat. Unique Health. Extreme weight loss, metabolism and energy boost. Watch those pounds fall off. Sustainable weight loss is Unique Health. You can look for them on Facebook and Instagram. Call Sandra today, 401 269 9155. 401 269 9155. Unique Health. Folks, good afternoon. They're located in Warwick, right across from the Kent County Courthouse. Unique Health. Now, this afternoon, I will cover the Meyer Brophy Bayerman trial. Now, they're not allowing any cameras in the courtroom. that sounds so severe, but it is what it is. I will pull away. If you go to depetro.com, I'll even reshare some of the stories. That was the story, August 1st, tragic story, 24 years old. She attended URI the same time my oldest child did, my son did. And she was this remarkable young girl who then got her master's. And it was August 1st, and I know the story. She had spent the day with her family. I think they were in New Hampshire. And then that night, she went home, and a friend, the way I know it, kind of called her, convinced her to come out. They went out in Providence. Maya had worked in Providence. Um, and then afterwards, a number of their friends went to like an after hours party. People do that. Hey, someone's got an apartment. Bunch of us are going over there. And then as the night is continuing, as she's then going to drive home to her parents' home in the Cohasset section of Warwick, her apparently boyfriend, I thought it was just a male friend, but I'll go with boyfriend, was walking her to her car, and and suddenly a car came rolling down Olney Street, and it was two gang members. And I go into great detail on the website depetro.com. If this happened August 1st of 2021, so almost 2 years ago. Now, you have to know about the gang situation in Providence that a lot of people don't. Folks, and many times, you hear I'm criticized with some of that crowd because I talk about the gang trouble. The gang problem, they bring up a lot of problems. And the Providence City Council that basically said that um, oh, okay. I'm getting new information. But anyhow, the city council said that they they disbanded the gang unit information, and they just started. Many of you remember with Allures started referring to it as groups of individuals. They don't use the word gang. But here's the part that I want you to understand. The problem, if you downplay gang violence, when you downplay that there's gang membership, what you're downplaying is when someone is injured or shot or stabbed, what have you, or beat up or robbed, what is the motivation for this other group of individuals, whatever number it is, 9 or 10, to respond? Is it because they're related? No. Is it because they work together? Not really. What is their affiliation? It's gang related. And so many times when there's a stabbing or a shooting or a robbery, it's gangs retaliating against each other. And there was a situation that had happened where a rapper was shot in October. And folks, as many of you know, I've been deemed an expert on the local gang situation, even by local law enforcement. October of 2020, during the pandemic, a local rapper was shooting a video. I didn't say he's the most talented, but late at night, and somebody rolled up on him and they killed him. So that's October of 20, right? So then that next summer, East Side gang members, they do a video where they're mocking the rapper that was shot and killed in South Providence. So they post the video and they're clowning around right off of Camp Street and in University Heights. So now the brother of the guy that got shot and killed, he's rolling around late that night. They're looking for retribution on the East Side members that were in the rap video, and they think they spot one of them. Now, the guy they fired at was not a member of East Side that cut that video, but he's walking Maya to her car, so they open fire. They miss him and accidentally shoot and kill her. All right, let me. This is interesting. Some information. Governor says he was going to lunch with his fundraiser and bumped into Britt and the company, so they decided to have lunch together. That explains the fundraiser. But that contradicts, that's what the governor says. But that contradicts what Britt told Kathy Gregg of the Providence Journal, which is Britt told Kathy Gregg of the Providence Journal that he paid the 1,000, and then they told him he could have lunch, bring anyone he wanted to lunch, and this is who he brought. That's what Britt told Kathy Gregg of the Providence Journal. It sounds like the governor's trying to say, "Oh, I was just going to have lunch with Jahesh and we bumped into them." Britt is saying, "Oh no, it was an arranged lunch." So they're obviously not on the same page here. Somebody is not telling the truth. And then they bumped into them and decided to have lunch. All right, folks, we have another full hour to go on the program. It's the John DePietro Show. We will be doing Facebook Live later. Cranston PD Live, the next episode, is this Friday night. Let's break for the 1 o'clock news. We have another full hour to go, radio only. Leave it right here.